And thank God I didn't die.
Oh, beautiful. Happy Sunday night, everybody. Don't know what day it is with all these holidays happening. The Spear Shakers. I went down easy. And Kelly Richey is my fabulous guest on the Who Magoo. Welcome, Kelly. Come on into the show. Thank you.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Super, super. Kelly's live in Cincinnati. I'm hanging out here in Milwaukee. And Merry New Year to you and to all your family. And have a great New Year's for you.
Is it colder there than it is here? What's your all's weather like right now?
It's chilly. It's chilly. It's about 25-ish. You know, we got a little bit of snow, so it's got kind of a wintry feel here in Wisconsin. But, you know, we're used to it in our cheesehead Packerland, and our poor Packers we lost today. We shut out by the Lions. Oh, my. So we're a little bit crying over this way, but you never know. And I love one of the things that you do. You're a life coach, and you're always up and motivated. So thanks, God. We need you tonight, Kelly, to come on the show and keep the Packer fan a little faith with the music tonight, should I say.
Okay. I'll do that.
Tell us about your fabulous duo that you got. The heading out with your fabulous partner out there, what you have going on.
I am playing with Sherry McGee, and we put together a power duo called the Spear Shakers. Mm-hmm. And I've spent my entire career on the road fronting a power trio. I'm a guitar slinger. I've worked with the bass player and drummer, which I love the format. But I really got hooked to the Black Keys and the White Stripes. Actually, the White Stripes first. I'm a big Jack White fan. And then, you know, a few years later, the Black Keys came out, and I love the freedom. The more freedom I can get on stage, the happier I am. But finding the right drummer to do something like that with is tricky, because I've worked with a lot of great drummers, but there's just a certain thing that you need to be able to fill the holes without, you know, packing it full of, you know, stuff. Mm-hmm. And Sherry McGee, I grew up in Lexington, Kentucky, and she moved to Lexington in the early 80s. She was in a band in the late 80s called Velvet Elvis, and they were on Enigma Records. And in the late 80s, I was in a band called Stealin' Horses, and we were on Arista Records. So I knew who Sherry was. She knew who I was, but we never got to work together. She ended up in L.A., I ended up in Nashville, and, you know, I'd run into her from time to time. But I got asked to play, and I never played. I don't think I've played in a cover band since high school, and I haven't been in an all-female band since Stealin' Horses. And I never play on New Year's Eve. I gave that up a long time ago. Well, I got asked to play in an all-female cover band for New Year's Eve last year. I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding. It was in my hometown, Lexington. And I thought about it. I said, you know what? If you can get Sherry McGee to play the drums, I'll do it. Because they were doing like women's rock history, everything from Chrissy Hines, a whole bunch of really cool songs. I was like, man, that would be fun. So when they asked Sherry, she said, well, Kelly's doing it. I'll do it. So we did that project together, and we hit it off. And I asked her, I said, you know, I've always wanted to do a power duo. What would you feel about that? She's like, oh, man, that sounds like fun. So we got together twice to rehearse, and it's like, wow, I don't think we need to do that again. He's like, you show up ready, I'll show up ready, and we, you know, anything I want to do, I just hit her with an MP3, and she's all over it. And she rolls right down the hill with me, and we meet each other on the other side every time. And so we've just been having a blast. And so I've gone back through my catalog. I've done 16 CDs, and I've been pulling out all of my favorite songs and bringing them into this project to see which ones really fit in that power duo context. And I'm writing a lot of new material. But we started off by recording some of my favorite songs, our version of them as a power duo. And we just wrapped up 3 songs and released the first of 3 music videos. Something's going on. We just put out on Christmas Day. We pulled the plug on that and released that. And so that's what we've got going on.
The question I have for you now, as far as being able to play with just the drum and the guitar, is that you're able to like play off each other. I'm a big fan of the Who and Pete Townsend and Keith Moon. That was one of the things that they did. Is that the more freedom that you have in the band now? Yes.
I love the Who, and I love Keith Moon. He's definitely he's stylistic, you know, like all the greats, like John Bonham. Sherry's more like John Bonham, and I'm more from that vein, because there's a certain backbeat that the blues, you know, has, that John Bonham was just, he had a foot on him, and Sherry's got a foot on her. And so that whole that's created from that kind of Bonham sound is really what Sherry brings to the table for me that makes it so much fun to play. She creates a whole, whereas Keith Moon filled in every hole, dotted every I, crossed every T twice. And I loved his energy that he played. But Sherry creates more holes, and I've changed my guitar sound a bit. I use an octave pedal on my guitar quite a bit during the course of the night, and then I'll use a looper to create a drone from time to time. So, and we're not, you know, playing any kind of a time source or anything, so I'm not like recording a loop that we play to. I just create sometimes like a drone to just kind of fill that in, or just turn on an octave box and make it just that real low end fat sound. So that's changed my guitar tone a bit. And I play in stereo, and I use ping pong delay. So I'm getting a great big huge sound on stage, and it's the most fun I've ever had, and I've been doing this a while.
Well, that's great. It's awesome to be able to expand your horizons in your career, and that's one thing we're going to get to. You have a fabulous teaching career that you do online, and all the artists that you've helped, and one of them that I get to play, Diana Rain, was one of your pupils, and how you reach out to the video online world and help people with the guitar lessons and stuff. So I'll tell you what, let's play one thing for everybody right now. Leaving it all behind, the Spear Shakers. Here we go. Thank you.
Well, it's a cold, hard rain. Sweet spirit fills my soul, brings the light right on home. Well, hey, the sun is gonna shine. Carefree, we're leaving it all behind. Well, hey, we're leaving it all behind. Well, hey, leaving it all behind. Leaving it all.
Oh, thank you very much. The Spear Shakers and Kelly Richey is my fabulous guest here on the Humagoo. Happy Sunday night. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks for coming on board the show.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
I love it. And again, that was Leaving It All Behind with your fabulous duo. Tell us a little about your teaching, your business, and how you're helping everybody out there. That'd be a great thing to chat about.
Okay. I have taught guitar lessons my entire career. I mean, I was playing maybe 2 years when I started teaching. So I learned a long time ago that, when you, whatever it is that you put your time into and your focus in is what you're going to, obviously grow, where you're going to grow. And so throughout my career, touring, and when Skype became available and TrueFire being able to teach online, I was able to teach from anywhere. So there was no restrictions like at one point when I had to be home, teaching when I was off the road. But in 2010, I came off the road from constant touring. It's the only break I ever took. And as I was sharing with you during the break, I got sober. And I began to realize that a lot of the students that I'd had throughout the years, because guitar can be kind of tough to play, some of them kind of quit practicing, but they kept taking lessons. And I realized really it was a form of life coaching that I'd been doing for a number